There is this show on Netflix. It's called The Circle. It's a reality show, branded as a mix between Big Brother and Catfish. And I think that's a perfect way of honestly summing it up. But it is a reality show, and it's a game based around social media with the concept that anyone can be anyone in the circle. And so the way it works is these people have a status, they have a photo or multiple photos, and then they can talk to each other, but it's all over a separate interface. Like, it's all over this social media thing called The Circle. So they never see each other face to face, and the only contact they have is either in group chats or in like games that they'll play, like Who's Most Likely To. The annoying thing about this show, if I'm just going to get it out of the way right off the bat, is that everything they say is to a screen. So everything they say, they go circle, blah, 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 send. Or they go blah, 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 this emoji, this hashtag, send. And that's the part that gets the most annoying because it's not seamless. You have to hear that over and over and over again, and that also gives you the whole side of it where it's like, there's no emotion in that. Like, you're talking to a screen. And they do kind of make up for that a little bit when they put in certain rules, like you get to visit someone after you get voted off, because then you get to get a face-to-face connection, and most of the time, like, that shows you the person in a different light, because they're pretending to be someone else. Or most of the time, if they are not catfishing, they're being themselves. You get to see like genuine interaction with someone else instead of them saying like, oh, circle this, circle that. Another thing is it's very interesting when you look at the characters, because they all kind of have this message they want to get across. So one person who, I'm not gonna lie, he seems a little preachy to me, his name's Shabam, and his whole message is he hates social media and he thinks it's the worst thing for our generation. And his like tagline is social Medusa, not social media. And his whole thing is like, I'm going on here to show you that if you're a genuine person and you don't rely on social media for attention, or you don't rely on social media for interaction, then you'll be better off. And he plays the game really well, but it just, I don't know, it just comes off very preachy, because it's like, if you know how to use social media, then use it, but I wouldn't say that you should attack everyone for their personal use of social media, because it can be helpful. People have jobs off of it. You know, a lot of people learn certain things from it. Sure, it can be hurtful, but that just means you need to learn how to either use it or how to cope with it, or how not to use it, how to avoid it, and have a life void of social media. It's honestly like it's all preference based. So like, it's like, if I know how to separate life from like someone's reactions on social media, if I know how to separate what someone's actually coming at me with versus like, because you know there is a disconnect, because you're looking at someone's life through through a little window. You're not going to see all sides of someone. You're also only seeing a portion of how they're feeling, how they're reacting, what they're saying. So there's that whole aspect of the game where it's like, this person's saying one thing, but they could feel a whole other way. And that also adds a little bit of, you know, a sneaky little side to it. In terms of this guy, Shabam, I just think he's missing the whole aspect of social media that's positive, and there is a positive side to it. Of course, there is negatives. Like, people can be hurtful online. You can get trolls. You can get bullies, all that stuff. And that's why I say you need to learn how to use it, because you need to learn how to disconnect from it and realize it's not everything. It shouldn't mean everything. You know, how to live your life with it opposed to live your life around it. And I mean, that can be hard for people who build a career and a life around it, but like I'm saying, it's different for everyone. And so this game is actually really interesting, and the part I wanted to talk about is, I'm not going to reveal any spoilers, but near the end of the game, they all meet, which kind of adds the whole realistic aspect to it. Like, you find it with catfish, and it's also just so annoying how everyone has a different message, but sometimes they like don't portray that at all. Like this one girl had, oh, who was it? This one guy had a message where he brought it up like in the end. He didn't bring it up until there, and his message was, guys can be sensitive and it's okay. You know, you're told from, I guess, toxic masculinity that you have to, if you're a guy, you have to hide all your emotions. And so he went on as his girlfriend and he pretended to be a girl, and even people still thought he was like overly emotional, poor guy. But his whole message was, yeah, like he wears his heart on his sleeve. So if he went in as a girl, he wanted to see if they would judge him less than if he were to be like himself. And first of all, he's just an emotional guy. Second of all, when it got to finals and he was given an interview, he literally scratched that and he said, no, I'm not emotional at all. Like, my girlfriend's the emotional one of the two of us. He kind of just like backtracked on everything he said he was trying to portray and like advocate for. And it just the show, man, the show. Anyways, I think that it turned out really well in the end, and I think that this is the first season it's going on, so it will get better. There was this one thing they did with like editing. I will say the editing's good, where it actually made the show very entertaining, and that is the editing seamlessly so that when someone says something, they will show the other person on the other end. So it's kind of like you're getting that interaction, that conversation, because you see both sides of it and you see the reactions to it and the replies to it. So you really get like all the information. Meanwhile, it's showing both sides of a conversation. So you're not just getting that one-sided, you know, thing that they're getting. Because it is annoying watching like someone like talk to a screen and just be like, circle, blah, 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 send. Because that just gets repetitive and annoying, and I get that. And it's also like it must be very difficult to show emotion when you're just talking to a screen over and over and over again. Even though they are like real people in the game, but still it gets annoying. But anyways, yeah, I definitely recommend you should go watch that, you know, get back to me on that one, because the show's actually pretty good. It's not as good as Big Brother, I won't lie about that one, but I give it a good 7 stars. I think season 2 is going to be better. I ain't gonna lie on that one.